Welcome! So, have you ever wondered if you could completely transform your life by changing just one thing? Not your job, not your location, but yourself? Well, today we're diving into a concept that says you can. It's called the mirror principle. And honestly, understanding this can be an absolute game changer. So let's get right into it.
Okay, this one sentence, this is pretty much the whole thing in a nutshell. It's the absolute core of the mirror principle. If you can really truly let this sink in, you unlock the power to consciously build your own reality. But it all starts with changing from the inside out.
So, how does this actually work? I mean, it sounds good, right? But what's the mechanics of it? Let's start with the big idea, the reality mirror. I want you to imagine that reality itself is just a giant mirror. It's always on, and it's constantly reflecting something back at you. The real question is, what is it reflecting? Well, that's where the mirror principle comes in. The theory is that your entire external world, everything you see, touch, and experience, is just a direct reflection of your internal world. Your circumstances, your relationships, your bank account, they aren't random. They're basically a feedback loop from your own beliefs about yourself and the world.
Let's break this down to make it super simple. On one side, you have the image. That's you. That's your internal world, who you think you are, what you believe is possible, your whole worldview. On the other side, you have the reflection. That's your external world, the results you get, the experiences you have. Now here's the crucial part. You can't change the reflection by wiping the mirror. You have to change the image itself.
All right, so if we need to change the image and not the reflection, how in the world do we do that? This brings us to the very first of 4 keys we're going to cover today, learning how to consciously project your image. See, this mirror of reality is constantly reflecting the messages you send it. And those messages really boil down to 2 main categories. First, how you see yourself, your identity. If deep down you believe you're not worthy of success, the mirror just says, okay, you're right, and here's the proof. And second, how you see the world, your worldview. These 2 things, combined, create your entire reality. So here's a really powerful exercise you can try. First, get crystal clear on your long-term vision. Think big, like 10 years from now. Then ask yourself, who am I being in that future? What kind of person are you? What are your traits? Next, from that place, what's your worldview? How do you see the world? And finally, you lock it all in with affirmations. The key is to make them present tense. So instead of, I hope I'll be abundant, it's, I am a magnet for abundance. You see the difference? This is how you start consciously sculpting that image you're sending out. Okay, so you've defined your new identity, you're doing your affirmations. This next part is absolutely crucial because this is where most people get tripped up and just quit. Let's talk about our second key. You have to master the delay. Here's the deal. In our minds, we can create a new image in an instant. But the physical world, it's a bit slower. It's dense, you know? It takes time for it to catch up. So there is always, and I mean always, a time lag between when you change your internal image and when the external reflection actually changes. And this right here is the real challenge. You have to stay faithful to that new identity you've chosen, even when your current reality is screaming the exact opposite at you. You have to hold on to that new belief with everything you've got, long enough for the reflection in the mirror to finally shift. This cycle right here, this is what happens when we don't master the delay. You can think of it like planting a seed. You plant it, and you have to trust that it's growing under the surface, right? But if you get impatient and dig it up every day to check on it, you're going to kill the sprout. It's the same with your beliefs. If you waver, you disrupt the whole process, and you get stuck in this frustrating up and down cycle that so many of us know all too well. So we've covered projecting our image and mastering the delay. Now let's move on to our third key. This one is a subtle shift in your attention, but it is so profound. It's all about learning how to focus on abundance. Okay, get this, because it's a huge secret. The mirror doesn't care if your thoughts are positive or negative. It only reflects the content of your focus. So if you're constantly thinking, ugh, I hate having all these bills, the mirror doesn't reflect hate. It just reflects bills. And what does it give you? More bills to confirm what you're focused on.
And you can see the two paths so clearly on this slide. The scarcity mindset, the glass half empty. It's always focused on what's missing, what's wrong, and you just get more of that. But the abundance mindset, it focuses on what you do want and what you're grateful for right now. A super practical way to do this is just to catch yourself and reframe. The moment you think, I hate my job, ask a better question, like, okay, what is this experience teaching me for my next amazing opportunity? That simple pivot shifts everything.
And that brings us to our final and maybe the most powerful key of them all. This is the one that pulls everything together. It shifts you from being a passive observer of your life to being an active creator. It is time to reverse the cycle. I mean, just think about it. For most people, this is just how it works. We look at our circumstances, our bank account, our job, our relationships, and then we form our internal attitude based on that external data. We're letting the reflection dictate the image, and that keeps us completely and totally stuck.
This is what's called the puppet cycle. First, you observe your reality. Then you form your internal image based on that observation. And then the mirror reflects that image, giving you more of the exact same reality. It's this addictive, disempowering loop that most of the world is unconsciously trapped in.
But you don't have to be a puppet on a string. If you want to become a true creator, a conscious creator of your reality, you have to break this cycle. And you do that by completely reversing the process.
So here's how we do it. This is the creator cycle. First, you form your image consciously. You decide who you are, what you want, and you kind of have to turn your back on what the current reflection is showing you. Then, and this is the active part, you confirm. You intentionally hunt for tiny little pieces of proof that it's working. As you find that evidence and get excited about it, you amplify it, and that's how your reality begins to transform on a massive scale. In the end, it really is just like this. We all have this power to be alchemists. We can take the lead of our current circumstances and transmute it into the gold of our desired reality. It's not magic, it's just about mastering the image we project into the mirror. The mirror of reality knows no limits. It only and ever responds to what we offer it. So the only question that really matters is this. Are you going to continue to be a puppet, just passively observing your reflection? Or are you going to step up and become the creator who consciously shapes it? The choice is always yours.